Hello, dearest. Welcome back to my channel. This is Maafeli. I hope everyone is doing wonderfully well. I am back again to share with you another recipe today. Today, I'm going to share with you how to make your own all-purpose flour at home without any struggle. If you are living in an area that you find it difficult to get your own all-purpose flour at the shop, I want you to understand that you can make your own all-purpose flour at home and use it to bake any type of baking that you want to use for. I also face a lot of challenges getting all-purpose flour at the shop where I am. So most of the time I make my own substitute of all-purpose flour, and then it works 100% well whenever I'm using it to bake. So I decided to share it with you today so that you can also make your own at home whenever you are finding it difficult to get your own all-purpose flour wherever you are. So let's get started. So to start making your own all-purpose flour at home, you first need a scale that weighs grams. I repeat, a scale that weighs grams. This small scale that I have here, it weighs grams and ounces as well, and other weight units. But I'm going to use only the grams unit in this scale. Or you can also use this digital scale that we have here. This one only weighs bigger things, heavy stuff, and it only weighs in grams. So if you don't have a scale like this and you have a kitchen scale that weighs in grams, you can use for this recipe. So to start to make your own recipe of all-purpose flour, I'm going to show you another thing to do. You will need flour. As you can see here, I have two types of flour here. I have supreme cake wheat flour, that's a soft flour, and also bread flour or hard flour. So these two we are going to combine to make our own all-purpose flour at home. So to start the measuring, I will on my scale, and then once it is on, I'm going to put on some object for the measurement. If you put on this object, it weighs 43 grams. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it weighs 43 grams. And then what we have to do now is to cancel the weight of this item or object that is on top, and then it will turn to zero. That is when we can be able to measure the flours to get accurate measurement that we need. So if I remove it, it's going to show minus the amount of grams that this object weighs. So I will put it on again and just look at that, it shows zero. So once it shows zero, it means we can go ahead and also measure our flour. Now let me cancel it and put another object. If you put this object on it, it weighs 166 grams. So to cancel it and then measure and get your accurate measurement of all-purpose flour, you need to cancel the weight of this object to be zero. And then once it is zero, you can go ahead and then start your measurement of the flour. So now, what I'm going to do now is to open the flour and then start to measure them. So I'm going to start the measurement of the flour, and then I want you to pay good attention in this area. To measure your all-purpose flour, you need 70 grams of bread flour and also 60 grams of bread flour to form all-purpose flour. And then once you measure, you will see that combining 70 grams of bread flour and 60 grams of soft flour together, you will get exactly 1 cup. So I want you to pay attention in this area and then look at the scale very well, how it's going to work, and so that you will be able to also make it at home. It is so easy and simple. It is not difficult at all. So now what I'm going to do is to place the object. Is automatically off, so I have to on it. So once it is 0, I will place the object on it, and then the object is weighing 42 grams, and I'm sure you can see it. So what I'll do now is to cancel the object, the weight of the object, and then it will turn to 0. And at this point, I'm going to measure 70 grams of bread flour. I will use my spoon so that it will be easier for me. So you can see now it is 70 grams we have here. So I'm going to pour it in my measuring cup, and then I will put it back. Already we have subtracted the weight of this object, so it is still 0. So now what I will do now is to measure 60 grams of soft flour or cake wheat flour. You can see now we have 60 grams of cake wheat flour here. So I'm going to add it, and then I will mix everything together. Just mix well. So after measuring 70 grams of bread flour and 60 grams of cake wheat flour and mixing them together, you can see we have exactly 1 cup here, and I believe you can see it very well in the screen. We have exactly 1 cup here. So now what I'm going to do now is to pour this 1 cup into this bowl. So now if I want to measure 3 cups of flour, which means I need 70 grams of bread flour times 3, and then 60 grams of cake wheat flour times 3. So you just do the calculation. So 70 grams times 3, which is 210 grams. So I'm going to measure 210 grams here. So as you can see, we have 210 grams here. That is 210 grams of bread flour. So I'm going to set aside, and then I'm going to measure another one. I'm going to measure 3 cups of supreme cake wheat flour or soft flour. So I need 3 cups, which is 60 grams times 3, which is 180 grams. So I'm going to use another cup I will just cancel the weight of this cup and then measure 180 grams. We have exactly 180 grams here. So I'm going to add it into the one that I already measured. And then I will mix everything together. And as you can see, we have exactly 3 cups of all-purpose flour here. Just look at that. We have exactly 3 cups. So it all depends on you how many cups of flour you want to make. You can measure a lot and then keep it in your house. So if you want 3 cups of all-purpose flour, which means you are going to multiply 70 grams of bread flour by 3, and then 60 grams of soft flour by 3. You measure them and then combine, mix everything together, and then you get your 3 cups of all-purpose flour. So if you want to measure more, you go ahead and measure it the same way. So I'm done with a small scale, and I'm going to move to the bigger scale for you to know that they are all measuring the same accurate measurement that is needed. Now I'm going to use the bigger scale, and the bigger scale, it has numbers. You can see there is 0, there is star. There's a lot of numbers here. So the star is to cancel the object that you put on. So if I put this object on, it's weighing 42 grams. So I'm going to press star and then cancel the weight of this object on top. If I want to go back, I will just press 0 and then put another object. When you put another object, it's weighing 96 grams. So you press star and then cancel the weight of the object before you measure. So it all depends on you, the type of scale that you are using. As long as it is measuring grams, then it is okay. It doesn't matter. You just have to learn how your scale is. So now I'm going to measure another 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So what I'll do now is to measure 70 grams of bread flour. Yeah, you can see it is exactly 70 grams, and I believe you can see it well. So I'm going to pour it inside this cup, measuring cup, and then I will measure 60 grams of cake wheat flour. It's easier for me when I'm using the spoon to do the measurement. It helps me a lot. So now we have 60 grams of soft flour. So I'm going to pour it inside the cup. Mix everything together. And just look at that. We have exactly 1 cup of flour, all-purpose flour here. So the bigger scale and the smaller scale are all the same measurement. So if we're having smaller scale or kitchen scale that weighs grams, or a big scale that weighs grams, they are all going to give you the same accurate measurement. So I'm going to pour it inside my bowl as well. And then I'll go ahead and measure 3 cups. So 3 cups, which means I need 70 grams of bread flour times 3, which is 210 grams. You see, I have 210 grams here. So I'm going to set aside. And then I will cancel and press to 0. I'm going to measure. This one is weighing 166 grams. So I'm going to cancel the weight. And then I will also need 60 grams of soft flour times 3, which is 180 grams. You see, it's 180 grams. So I'm going to add it to the hard flour. And then I'm going to mix everything together. And it should give you 3 cups, which we have here. Let me on the light so that you will see it well. We have 3 cups just here, exactly 3 cups. So you keep on measuring it like that, depending on the amount of flour that you need. So if you want, for example, 6 cups of all-purpose flour, then you have to measure 70 grams of bread flour times 6. You multiply it and then you measure. And then 60 grams of soft flour times 6. You multiply and you measure, and then you mix everything together. And then your all-purpose flour is ready. And after measuring a couple of flour that I need, my all-purpose flour is ready to be used for baking. Just look at that. It is so beautiful and nice. And I believe you will try at home if you are also struggling like me to get access to all-purpose flour. This is an opportunity for you to get your own all-purpose flour at home without any struggle for baking. Thank you all so much for watching. I believe you enjoyed this video with me. If you did, give your girl a thumbs up and also subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification button so that you will not miss any upload that I make. Share, comment, and like my videos. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome back to my channel. This is Maafeli, and always remember at Maafeli, we believe in the old adage, your health is your wealth. So be mindful of what you eat. Nyamre boa, yeke ye biako. Bye.